Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. And as you know, this show is not only about the pageant industry, but it's about modeling, fashion, business, and the entertainment industry as well. But before I introduce my very, very special guest today, and you're going to love her, she is just absolutely amazing. I always have a few reminders that I like to let our viewers know about. And we always want to tell you to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so you can view Make Our World Your Runway and the GTC success stories. The 100 Successful Women in Business book is available at Amazon and Target, and I highly recommend you picking up a copy and read the many accomplishments of these amazing, successful women. Available every Monday, the Global Trade Chamber magazine. Fabulous stories and content in that magazine. And once again, registrations are now open for the next round of awards from 100 Successful Women in Business, which will be held in London, England, this August 24th through the 28th. One event you do not want to miss. So if you know of a successful woman who has amazing accomplishments, do not hesitate to nominate her or even nominate yourself. We would love to hear from you. So remember, once again, 100 Successful Women in Business, August 24th to the 28th. One show you do not want to miss. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I have a wonderful, wonderful guest that I'd like to introduce today. She is very near and dear to my heart. And I just want to say this, all my pageant ladies and models, I hope you're going to listen and take notes because this is going to be a wonderful experience and you're going to hear firsthand from a real pro. And she's a renowned celebrity hairstylist. She's a makeup artist, wardrobe stylist, educator, and inspirational speaker. She's also the founder and creative director of Prestige Magazine, Prestige Models, Prestige Artist Creative Agency, and Prestige Artist Productions. When she isn't traveling the world with her celebrity clients, she's interviewing them as the host and celebrity correspondent for the show, Candid and Diverse on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure and distinct honor to introduce to you Sophia Lenore. Welcome, Sophia, to Make Our World Your Runway.
Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, that was such a lovely, lovely intro. Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you.
Oh, Sophia, you know, you're very near and dear to my heart. And that's why I hope all the pageant ladies and all the models that I work with are going to listen to our show today and your interview because you are such a pro. And I watched a couple of your videos on YouTube yesterday. Oh my God. I was taking notes. I was learning from you.
Ah,
It was
oh,
absolutely, I mean, just the shows that you've worked on, just what you've created, the makeup and the hair that you've done, it's been absolutely spectacular.
oh, thank you. It's been a wild roller coaster of a career and a life. So I appreciate it. I love that sometimes other people take a look at your work and you don't even realize how much you've done until other people tell you. To me, it's a blur.
I know I get the same thing. People sometimes look at certain things I've done and I don't realize even some of the things that I've done. And then I look back and say, you know what? Yeah, I have done these things. But you and I have something in common because you've been trained by some of the top cosmetic companies, and I've been trained by some of them and even worked with some of them. And one of them, which I realized was 𝐏𝐸𝐸, which is actually her name spelled backwards. And people don't realize she's a red carpet authority.
Yeah, I actually love that brand. I think that's one of the, if not the first brands that I was affiliated with. And I have to say, it's a brand that is very personable in terms
Yes.
of your needs and getting back to you in a timely manner to make sure that you're happy. And yeah, and also every time you go into like Sephora's, they have the nicest representatives at the Lorac stand. Everything
Exactly.
is, they're like mommies.
I know. In fact, one of the Sephora's, I know the Sephora store, they still have Lorac. The ones in JCPenney, they did pull them out of there, but that's because JCPenney's making a transition. So everything is now going into the Sephora stores. But you're right. I love that brand, Lorac. I was trained on that, and they have the greatest representatives there. So,
They really do. They really
yep.
do. They give good customer service, but more importantly, I feel they give more personalized service. Where I feel like when I
Yes.
was even just with the brand, the reps knew a lot of the clients by name and knew a lot of the things that they prefer. So they take note, and I really like that. It's really personable. And very few brands are like that, especially with their reps really knowing clientele and the needs and knowing who to contact for new things. So
Exactly. I know Lancome was that way. I worked for Lancome for many years. In fact, I was their trainer for about 12 years.
oh, that's
And
great.
yeah, and I loved it because they were the same way. They had that interpersonal relationship with their clients. Okay. And the training I received from them was absolutely amazing. So I think that's where I get a little bit of my personality from
Yeah.
is,
Well,
because
you know something? I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a great place for models. This
yes,
is gonna sound weird because models would think we have makeup artists on sets, on photo shoots, on productions. Why would I want to go and get a job as a makeup artist?
right.
I'm going to tell you why. Even if you don't go to a brand like a Mac or Chanel or Dior or any of these other brands, even if you go to just a Sephora, because Sephora is the house of everything.
It is.
The house of skincare, fragrance, makeup, hair care, tanning, God knows what else. So if you work there as a model, two things happen. You get amazing discounts on products that
Yes.
help you maintain your moneymaker, your face.
That's it. The fact I
And your
100%
hair
agree.
in some
100%
yeah,
agree.
in some capacities, your hair too, because there are hair models and there are also but models should also maintain their hair. But we have weaves and wigs and all that stuff for that. But but there's always going to be privy to models with flawless skin or close to flawless as possible, meaning smooth, even, no bumps.
Right.
So that's the best place to work as a model in terms of really not having to pay or not pay that much, because I know they give a lot of free products away in terms of like overstock and when things are returned and blah, blah, blah. Sephora is really good at that, sharing your stuff. So you have tons of stuff for yourself to maintain your brand, to maintain your money maker, you know?
Right.
And you're in a position where you're going to meet makeup artists and hairstylists and photographers all day long. Who
That's
shops
right.
there? Makeup artists. Who shops there? Hairstylists, manicurists. Who are they always looking for? Models. Who they already are connected with? Photographers.
Exactly.
And how can you hook them up? You can say, hey, I'll bring you some free makeup, you know, if you hook me up with some photo shoots. And that's how you can get on some photo shoots that are really great. May not have a book yet as a model, but you can get us some really great shoots by putting out the cheese, by saying to these makeup artists that come and shop at Sephora, hey, I'll hook you up with some free makeup or some discount makeup if you help me get on some great photo shoots. Bam.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, like, that's the best job. You make really decent money. Sephora is a good brand to work for.
Yes.
You get tons of, you know, cosmetics to play in, and everybody from your industry is coming in your store to you.
That's right. You're 100%. You are 100% correct on that. You just said a mouthful, and I hope when we go live that everybody is going to listen to this, because that's exactly what I did. And you know what? It not only works for the modeling business, but it works for the entertainment business. When I was working in New York City, and before I trained and I was working at the counters, you're right. Makeup artists come in, models come in, pageant women come in, and you'd be surprised in New York City, all the producers and directors that came in from Broadway. That's how I got into the entertainment industry. And from there, I went on a lot of auditions because I started talking to these people. And they said to me, they said, well, what is it that you do? And I said, well, I do a number of things. I said, I wear several hats. I said, I'm not only, I said, in the makeup field. I said, but I'm also a singer. And that's how they would get on a conversation. I'd get to know people. And before I know it, they were saying, well, you know what? There's an audition today at 1 o'clock. There's an audition tomorrow at 2 o'clock. That's how I got into Phantom of the Opera. I knew about the audition.
Wow.
I went there. Okay. I became the understudy. And then I'm going to show my age a little bit. In 1998, when Sarah Brighton did not want to go out on the tour, I got the tour. So I did the East Coast tour from Maine right straight down to Florida. But that is how I broke into the industry. And you are correct. It doesn't sound weird. I highly encourage anybody who's a model to go work for these companies, because this is what's going to make the money. You get the skincare, you get a ton of samples. And every 3 months, if they come out with a new product, they're sending it to your home. So you're never coming out of pocket for anything. You're actually saving money. You're actually making connections. And for the future, you're going to make money.
Yeah. And also, Sephora sometimes, because this is something I've noticed they've started doing. I can't really talk too much about this merger that's going to happen with another beauty drugstore in Europe.
Yeah, there's a few going on here too. Yep.
The Sephora's, yeah. And they're not publicly doing this, but they tend to hire a lot of their employees to become their models.
Yes.
When you walk through Sephora's, take a look at their branding. Not the branding for Charlotte Tilbury or the branding for Dior. No, Sephora doesn't produce those marketing images. The marketing images produced for Sephora to promote Sephora. Those are usually what we call models who look like everyday people.
Right.
And Sephora selects that aesthetic of model on purpose because they don't want to discriminate. They want everyone to feel welcome. It's no matter your race, your religion, your creed, your shape, your measurements, your tone. They want everyone to feel welcome. So they try to make sure that the pictures that they produce for their marketing and branding, it's not like super over the top and polished Kim Kardashian brows and all this nonsense. Right. Everyone's like really like, they look like the people that help you in the store, like, you know, the pseudo beautiful people who are there who are cosmetic knowledgeable.
Right.
So that's another hidden opportunity within the Sephora brand, that like you not only have all of your products and everything, tools, because they also sell blow dryers, flat irons, everything.
Everything.
And you can save so much money in that capacity, but also you're putting yourself in the position, or you're putting yourself in the atmosphere of where creatives come to you. So you can constantly connect and network with makeup artists and hairstylists and wardrobe stylists and what have you, because they all are in there. And then you also can express to your management that you would like to be considered for Sephora's marketing.
That's right. Exactly.
That's how you professionally go up to someone and try to pitch yourself as a model. Just say, hey, I would love to be involved in Sephora's marketing. And that's it. And then they take pictures of you, they consider you, and blah, blah, blah. If you have an agent if you have an agent already as a model, do not let your agent do that for you. You get your toe in the door first as the employee who's asking.
Correct.
Then if they say, okay, we like you, let's do this. Here's your contract. Then you say, okay, here's my agent, Angela. She's going to review this contract for me real quick.
I love it.
You know?
I love it.
But, and they won't be mad at that, because the whole thing is they know that you are an employee for them.
Right.
But now you're going to start doing something for their PR team.
And they like that.
So you have to involve someone to protect you, because Sephora ain't gonna protect you. You're just an employee to them. So when they pass you off to their marketing team, boop, they're gonna take photos and stuff for them. Their marketing team has Sephora's best interest in mind, not yours, the employee of Sephora's. So then you can kind of migrate in your agent if you have one, just to make sure things are moving smoothly and still, kosher, and you're not being taken advantage of. You know where the picture's gonna end up.
Exactly. No, you're 100% correct. And when you said something about Sephora, I also, when I first started out in the cosmetic industry, I worked for Shiseido. And Shiseido had their two fragrances, Zen and Inouï. But what a lot of people didn't know is that it wasn't carried in a lot of stores. But if you went into Henri Bendel's in New York, Zen and Inouï had their own cosmetic line besides selling the fragrance. And what they used to do is they used to like to hire, like you said, not the top end model, but the people that could relate to that. So a lot of girls started out that way. And then from there, they started their careers. So everything you're saying is 100% correct. So, and a lot of people don't know that sometimes these brands have sub brands, which is very true. And like I said, when you walk into the world of Sephora, there's everything in there. From you want to buy a blow dryer, you want to buy makeup brushes, whatever you want to buy, it's there. So that is a great place to even start out, because like you say, everybody's just coming in there and you never know who you're going to meet. And that always happened to me. So excellent advice. I am so glad you brought that up, because I thought I was the only one out there that knew of this. I'm finding out.
Yeah, models and actors can pick my brain all day. I always feel like it's always good karma to give people the best advice you can divulge, because it only gives back to you positively, because we live in a society where everything in the movies and on television makes climbing the ladder look so easy.
It's not.
Look so easy, and that's just entertainment. Nothing in life worth having is going to be an easy chase.
No, it's not.
So since most people don't know what to do, and there's so much misinformation out there to get your money, or to put you in scenarios, or just have you chasing your tail so you just don't progress, I also offer mediation to creatives, like people in my field, hairstylists, makeup artists, wardrobe stylists, what have you. Because again, in my industry, this mountain was extraordinarily hard to climb. And it was mainly because I wanted to be an international creative. I didn't want to just flourish in the US. Right. I wanted to be able to leave if I wanted to, and also be someone who was well-rounded. You can't be a well-rounded artist, nor can you be a well-rounded model if you stay in your bubble.
Very true.
Because one day you're going to run into a scenario that's going to be so unfamiliar to you, you're going to mess everything up. Right. So always try to pull yourself out of your comfort zone, do things you're not really used to, go places, speak to people, do things. So when those situations drop in your lap, you're not so taken aback, so unprepared, and so unexposed. So, like if Angela, you end up sending one of your models to like Japan or like, New Zealand or, India, they're not so like culture shocked. And so, you have to take those leaps when you have the opportunities, start mixing and mingling with people you wouldn't necessarily mix and mingle with. Start going into neighborhoods and areas and having lunch and having interactions with people who may not be from the same cultural background, neighborhood, what have you. You have to do that as a creative. If you're a model, if you're a hairstylist, if you're a makeup artist, you have to. The reason why I say you have to is because when you get that money and that booking, you are forced to interact with that person. So if you have never been around a Black person or have never been around an Asian person or whatever, and then you get that booking for H&M, and all of a sudden, oop, you're kissing the Black guy, or you know what I mean? Or what have you, or you're now gonna curl Asian hair as a hairstylist. You've never touched Asian hair before. You got to start doing that yourself. Don't wait for them situations to fall in your lap and then you go flatline like.
Exactly.
And you're so uncomfortable, everyone around you feel it.
That's right. Exactly. And when you said you are fierce, driven, and assertive, I can understand why. And you have a great knack for pitching things. I mean, I've seen you in action. I've worked with you. I know exactly what you can do. I know you're very precise. I've learned that when you're on a fashion show, you want to make sure the clothes are there on time. You want to see the clothes. You want to see the models ahead of time. And, I can understand this, but there's a lot of models out there that are like, oh my God, why is this happening? Well, it has to happen if you're going to have a successful show. And I think one of the things I want to ask you is that I know what my expertise is, but you have such a knack on piercing things and looking at things. I mean, what is it about you that your creativity is so amazing?
Oh man. I'm going to give you the short, easy answer. And this is so funny because someone just asked me this like 2 days ago.
Oh, jeez.
I said, it's because I'm an Aquarius.
Okay, I go for that.
Aquarius are always destined for one or two things.
Greatness.
Or madness. That's a real astrology quote.
I love it.
We're very whimsical. We're very, very hippie, which means we have no inhibitions. We have nothing. I'm not afraid to say anything or too shy. We have no shyness. We're not that way. We're very much like, go do it or else you won't have it.
Exactly. And you know what? I can attest to that because I'm a Scorpio. I don't need to say anything. People know what Scorpio's about. But when we worked on that fashion show in Fort Lauderdale, that was over the I'm trying to know, that wasn't 4th of July. That was a Labor Day weekend. Yeah. Okay. And you said to me, we need umbrellas. Go get them now. I said, okay, I'm going right. And I said, here we go. So we went to get them. And you know what? When I look at the pictures of that, I love the idea on how the girls were holding the umbrellas coming down the runway. That was so unique and unusual. Now, that's something that I would not have thought of. And I don't think any of the models there that day would have thought of that. But you came up with that. And it was so beautiful and so unique when those girls came down that runway. And it was like we had to put that thing together like ASAP. And it worked out amazing. So I tell everyone, I said, listen, I've worked with Sophia. I know her expertise. If she tells you, look, you got to go next door and get an ice cream cone, there's a reason why she's doing that. I always tell that. I said, if she tells you something, there's a reason why she's doing it. Don't ask, don't question it. Just go do it. because the end result is going to be absolutely amazing.
That's what every photographer says on set when I'm with them too. Sophia said, "Go get what? Okay, go get it. I don't know why she wants it, but just go get it."
Exactly. And it works. I mean, I've seen it. It works. I mean, even when you had the girls come out and they went front of the step and repeat, and you were saying like, turn left, turn right. And I was like, whoa, this is absolutely amazing. And like you say, everyone needs a coach, because if you don't have that, you don't have someone with the expertise like you have, you can really get lost in this industry, or you can get hurt very badly if you don't know what you're doing.
This is very, very true. And with models, the opportunity for usury and severe mistreatment is so wide open, as opposed to the creators behind the scenes. Because of the model being the subject, and because of the model being the focal point for everyone there that morning on set, the pressure is there. Photographers take advantage of that. And the desire to be your most beautiful, most fierce, or most photogenic, whatever your aim is as a model, right, or most popular, most in demand, whatever your aim is as a model, is also an added pressure that everyone is in the room is aware of. Everyone is in a room of your insecurities, but you don't know anyone else's.
Exactly. That's very true.
There's so much open room to be taken advantage of, and to be like depleted of all of your joy and happiness. You got to stay filled up. So mentors are very, very helpful. Surrounding yourself with positive people who not only just support your career, because that's not enough. Because there are a lot of people who support careers, but also on the flip side will envy someone's career. So they're in a way gaslighting you, because they're letting their presence make you feel like they care and they're supportive, but they might be bringing all types of negative energy into your space that could be pulling you down, sucking you dry, and you don't even know why. So you gotta be very careful with people you have around you, because as the model, like I said, everybody knows your insecurities. You don't have any knowledge of anyone else's insecurities, anyone else's aspirations, anyone else's I guess motives, because everyone knows yours, and you're right under the hot light in front of you. You know, nobody even knows who's on set with you. Like this is you carry the day. So basically, as a model, you have to make sure that you have a very, very, very strong amount of armor on you. In order for you to have a strong amount of armor that takes your surroundings, you have to make sure that you have people around you that are positive, but also filling. Because you can't just be around positive people who just laugh and giggle and talk about the Kardashians all day. No, you also have people that fill you up, meaning the people who give you like very specific advice for things you've gone through, things you've experienced, things you might be going through. Someone who knows you, who can really pull you and shake you and let you know, hey, this is what you need to do. Hey, this is how you need to be. Hey, maybe this isn't for you. You also need that person in your corner.
That's true.
You need that little group, even if it's 2 people. Because if you don't, like I said, the weight of the whole shoot is on your shoulders as the model. Right. When the shoot is done, I'm packing up my bag. I'm going to Chick-fil-A. The photographer, he's getting his stuff together. He about to go look at the photos. And the photos are of you. So basically, everyone's moved on. Okay? But you have to realize that if the photos didn't come out too good, or if, say, your skin isn't that great, or if there's a lot of retouching that needs to be done, or if you're not showing, the fierce in the eyes, or just for some reason just not bringing it that day.
Exactly.
You ruined the shoot.
Right.
I could have a bad day. I could have a fight with my husband. I could get into arguments on 95 and all this stuff. Photographer could be in the nastiest mood. Wardrobe stylist could literally like haven't had sex in 6 months and is like in the worst disposition there is. But none of these people can ruin the shoot.
Right.
If
Exactly.
the model is not on her game, if she's not feeling comfortable, relaxed, ready to bring it, we don't need to be here.
It's right.
That's what I mean by all of the pressure is on the shoulders of the model. So you have to make sure that you know how to hold that pressure when you're on set and then take it off when it's done and leave it off and make sure you have people who build you up, because they're going to be plenty of people on set ripping you down.
Yep, that's very true. And I've been on set with you when you've worked with a couple of my models, and especially Willina, and it's been absolute. Now, Willina's great. I mean, when she's in front of that camera, she's absolutely amazing. But I mean, the way you set up the shoots, the hair, the makeup, I mean, the atmosphere is fantastic. It gets the model in the mood. You play a little bit of music. And then, of course, we have to mention Philip, because Philip is just amazing when he is in front of that camera. I mean, that one picture he took of Willina,
really is.
I look at it every day. It is absolutely stunning. I mean, when you look at his pictures, it's like, wow, it's almost like he could go right in and touch the person. And he captures that moment. I mean, if you were just to look to the left or look to the right, he just captures it. And it's a talent. So you are right in being on, but the pressure is on the model, because like you said, those pictures don't come out right. It's the model. Okay. But you need people around you that are going to build you up and set the atmosphere. And that's something that you do very well. Okay. When the models are on set with you, it's amazing. You've got the right makeup artist there. You're directing it. I mean, you've got Philip there, the atmosphere and how you put it together. I mean, you're making, literally, you are making them get into the mood where they're going to perform.
That is the most important job of a creative director.
Yes.
Now that I'm a creative director, I don't understand why more don't do this. When models are on my sets, that pressure that I told you about earlier is more than cut in half. Because I make you your own mood board of model poses. I've even gone so far to pull out a full-size mirror in front of the model while the photographer is shaking. I'll turn the photographer, you better work around us. So that the model can see herself and bring her most fears. I'll do what needs to be done to get the model there. Normally we have models who bring it, it's no problem. But now and then you run into the new face, the more green model. Or maybe you run into a model who just can't get out of her head. Whatever experience or whatever happened before she got to set, she just can't shake it off. And so it's my job to be able to pinpoint on these little facets of the team and the rapport and the flow and the mood. Because I'm the one who does all the pre. I make the mood boards. I come up with the concept. I choose the models. I choose the wardrobe. I choose hair makeup. I do all this stuff. Then the day of the shoot, my job is just to be the conductor.
Exactly.
Make sure it moves smoothly, because the wardrobe's here, hair makeup's here, the model's here, photographer here, we're on set. Everything's here. Now it's about the flow. And a part of the flow is making sure that the person, like I said, that we're all here to photograph, is in the best possible mental state. I gotta take you to the side. We gotta go talk in the bathroom. We gotta do whatever we gotta do. We're gonna get there, and nobody's gonna know what's happening except you and me.
That's right.
That's how it's supposed to be. I'm the mommy on set. The photographer comes. He has a problem. He gotta take me to the balcony outside. Okay, let's go hug it out. Same thing with hair and makeup, with wardrobe. I am the mommy on set. I'm the one who makes sure everybody eats. I'm the one to make sure that everything is flowing smoothly. I'm the one to make sure that goes to hair and makeup. Be like, hey, you got 30 minutes. Better get this model on set. Because you have to have that as well, because there has to be someone overseeing what's happening, but more importantly, there has to be one person on set that model feels has their back. And they
Exactly.
never usually have that unless they bring a friend or they have a manager or their mom is with them or whatever. So like I said, that pressure that I spoke about earlier, that all the models will experience because that's just the way it is. Unless you're like doing a photo shoot with like 12 models, then okay, you can share that load. In terms of pressure, because y'all all got to bring it. But normally it's just that one. So I always try to make that very early introduction of I'm your strength.
Yes.
I'm your go-to.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, a lot of times some models are like, oh, you know, they understand it, but they don't understand that. They're like, okay, if they're not used to having somebody like you on set, they're like, they'll do this. But then after a while, they start to realize they do need someone like you because you make it go smooth. Okay. And you make sure that everything is on time. All right. If I said to you, okay, we're going to start this show at 10 a.m., you make sure that it's going to start at 10 a.m. Okay. If I give you an itinerary, yeah, exactly. Exactly. You are precise. Like that day we did the fashion show and I was on my way and you said, I need to see them clothes now. And I called the boutique. I said, you better get over there. I said, because it's going to be your head, then it's going to be my head. And that's when she came over with the clothes. And she said to me, I'm going over right now. I said, and I mean NOW now. But when she got there, you were able to see the clothes. You were able to, okay, this model, there's this model. And you were able to line the models up professionally so that all the clothing was going to be shown in the right light.
And with the right accompanying hair and makeup, because that's something that I do a lot when I do runway. I also tend to design. I do creative direction photo shoots, but I also do creative direction for runway. I'm a key hair and makeup artist for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, mostly in Europe. And I come up with the looks as well. But when it comes down to like, if you're a model on a photo shoot or if you're a model on runway, same thing. I'm the same mama for runway shows backstage. I'm your go-to. I'm your strength. You know, if someone trying to squeeze you into a corset and you can't breathe, but you're like, I need to walk this runway, but I don't know how to do it. Come see me.
Exactly.
I won't make you feel bad. I won't make you feel like you shouldn't have eaten today. Because I've seen that happen, you know, and it's just really important. A lot of creative directors and photographers and creatives feel like models are disposable, you know, they're like contact lenses. You wear them once, they look beautiful, and then you toss them away. And they're a soul, they're people, you know, and I just feel like this is my Aquarius kicking back in with my not wanting to leave people behind or have people, you know, not at least have the tools they need so they can survive. Can't help everybody. Not everyone's going to be Naomi. Not everyone's going to be Kate Moss. Okay.
Exactly.
But everyone that Naomi and Kate Moss was climbing that ladder with had the same knowledge and tools that Naomi and Kate Moss had.
Exactly.
I remember these 80s supermodels. They all knew what to do. But they're just certain people just have a stronger drive or a bigger fire. And that will always show later on in terms of the longevity that you end up having. For example, I'm naming Kate Moss and Naomi. Naomi's the only one who's still a supermodel from that era.
Yeah, she is. She is. Exactly.
Not Cindy Crawford, not Turlington, none of them.
None of them.
Naomi is the only working, high-paid supermodel over 45.
Yes, she is. She is, and that's amazing.
I think she's over a little more than that, but I'm gonna cap her at 45. I know she's a little bit older than that, but I'm just gonna be like 45.
Yeah,
you're welcome, sister, if you see this. So yeah, she's the oldest living supermodel. And it's a reason, you know? So I just feel like you just have to have it. It can happen.
It can. Yeah.
Jay-Z's now the oldest living working successful rapper.
That's right.
There used to be a cap on that, like 25, 30 years old.
Oh yeah, he's still going, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z is over 50. Okay, so that's unheard of, you know, to still have that appeal and flair. You know, Naomi has it the same, that appeal and that flair. Like, for example, I was just watching there's a show called Winning on Netflix
Yes.
about the Lakers. Sally Field is in.
Sally.
I was like, this woman been acting forever.
Oh, yeah.
She's from her era, one of the only still doing it.
Yes,
And
she
doing
is.
it very, very well.
Yes, she is. And she's up there. Yeah. And exactly. She's still doing it. You're 100% correct on that.
I say all that to say, don't be discouraged about what other models are doing and what other people are doing. Because when it comes down to it, that long money, that longevity, that branding, that recognition that everybody wants in their respected industries, all comes with the amount of passion and fire you have inside.
That's right.
You got to be prepared to run a marathon, not a sprint.
That's what I always say. And it's the same thing in the entertainment industry. You got to be, you got to want it. You got to be ready for it. Okay. Yes, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to guide you along the way. But right here, you got to be ready for that. When you get out on that stage, and I always tell people that, you give me a microphone, when I get out on that stage, all I see is that stage and that audience. That's what I'm going to connect with. Okay. Everything else goes out the window. Okay. I don't think of anything when I'm on that stage other than what I have to say to that audience and how I'm going to connect with that audience as well. Okay. Because if I don't do that, what am I up there for? Okay. Then I whatever craft that I learned, it's not happening at that point. And I get a lot of people that say that to me. They said, when you get out there with a mic, they said, you really know how to control the stage. I said, well, it's a lot of experience. I've been doing it. I mean, I was 2 years old when they threw me out on the stage. And then I went through a lot of training as well. I mean, I've gone to the Juilliard. I went to Seton Hall. But you have to really want it. And there is a way to connect with the audience. That's why a lot of times I will talk to my audience just to make them feel comfortable. I'm starting to feel comfortable. And then I get into what I need to get into. So you're 100% correct. You've got to have a lot of coaches out there, but you really got to want to do it yourself. And since she's worked with you, Willina has a saying now, watch out because here comes Willina. Every time we go someplace. And now when she walks in a room, it's like that. You know Willina's there. Okay? You know she's there. So this is a girl that I think is going to be very up and coming. And I have to thank you and Philip for doing that great photo shoot and that great write-up on her, because that was really a boost. And Ashley loved it. And it really did. It boosted her career and took her to the next level. I mean, look at her now. She's top model for Supermodels Unlimited magazine. She's going to be, and I definitely want to have you and Philip there. She's going to be doing that big fashion show for Supermodels on June 18th, okay, at the Clevelander. So what you do, okay, is very important. And a lot of models and even pageant girls should listen to this, because a little investment in yourself can go a very long way. And if you've got the right people, it can take you to the next level.
It's true. That's no lip service.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely appreciate what you've done for Willina, because it's been amazing. And just the fact that she made Top Model of the Year, I mean, that was exciting for her. So we definitely love what you and Philip did. I mean, that's why I say you're very near and dear to my heart, because, you know, when you say that you're a coach, I couldn't have done that without you. If I didn't know you, these things may not have happened. So from me to you, I totally appreciate it. But you've worked on, I mean, some amazing fashion shows in Europe. I mean, you've done some creative things. So, you know, let our listeners know what that was really like, because I know that's a different market than the US.
Well, Europe is a different monster when it comes to our industry, only because they're more laid back. We're a bit more pretentious. They don't take fashion as seriously as we do, although they pretty much invented it.
Yeah, exactly. They do.
So we're the ones who go absolutely nuts about mixing stripes and polka dots and colors and when they're like super like laid back about it. If it works, it works. Screw the rules. That's how they are. But for us, it's more like, no.
Yeah, it's gotta be like precise. Yeah.
I mean, the shows that I've worked on in Europe are mostly high fashion. I've mainly done shows for Prada, Gucci, Zadig and Voltaire, Sandro Paris. Um, Goodness gracious. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬. Michael 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬 is special.
Yeah.
The 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬 brand is a very special brand. It's a German brand. It's by a very, very, very eclectic German designer. And just as an example, he's like our Galileo, but in Germany, coming out with, looking extremely over the top with personality. But when it comes to the industry in Europe,
Right.
you don't need to be a waif model. You don't have to be like literally the circumference of a string. That's not necessary. And I would have to say, of all the shows that I've worked on, the reward is more fulfilling, excuse me. Because in the US, I feel like we tend to cock block each other for every little thing.
Yeah.
Every little thing. Like if I have water, he's mad because he didn't get a water, and now he don't want me to ever work on this shoot again. What? That's just the pettiness. In Europe, there's obviously pettiness in our industry in every corner. But in Europe, it's not like that. It's more like, okay, how do we come together, get this done? Because I want to go home and smoke a cigarette and have some coffee or whatever. Right. They just want to be done so they can go live their life.
Exactly.
And their work and the industry and fashion doesn't trump their life in any capacity.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because quality of life comes before career.
Mm-hmm.
That's the opposite for us in the US. So if you are a model in America, like I said earlier, you need to get out of your bubble. Work in Europe, work in Asia,
yes,
Canada. And like I said, experience new cultures, experience new facets. Because also, if you're a model in America and say you're experiencing like you're kind of like detached from the people you tend to work with,
right.
Meaning you realize, oh my God, everyone's so over the top, everyone's so level 10, I'm more subdued, I'm more, refined and
Right.
as a model.
Exactly.
And I know a lot of models that are like that with their personality. You should be like that with your personality. Right. You should never be too over the top unless you're already supermodel status. But while you're rosing up, you should just have the most muted personality as possible, and just show everything through your eyes and your poses. But but if that's the type of person you are, where you're more reserved, more muted, and the set is always a bit much for you, so you wear pods and you read a book and you kind of like zone out, then Europe is for you. Because Europe, none of that, hi, I'm here, the wardrobe stylist is coming in with fireworks, and that's America. That don't happen in Europe.
Exactly. What I said about Walina, that's her.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone's more low-key, more relaxed. It's not about putting on a show. Everyone's on the same level.
Yes.
Like, and you don't feel like the photographer who walked in is God and the model is mini God, and and the creative direction is like, the Omega God or whatever. So it's just, you don't feel that. It's just, we're all coming together to make pretty pictures. That's how it is in Europe. So it's a nice, different way to experience your industry as a model.
Exactly.
If you don't have the means to get to Europe, that's okay too. There's so many ways you can go abroad as a model.
Wow.
Without having to pay a penny. Many, many, many ways. One, if you have an agency already or an agent, tell them you'd like to go abroad. If they look at you like, okay, bye, go. Say, no, I'd like to go abroad. I'd like to be connected with one of your sister agencies. Every agency has one.
You're right about that, yeah.
Has a connection agency that they swap or share models with that's in like India or China or wherever else, say you would like to go abroad, and they'll find out what agencies might want to swap for their season. So, for example, our modeling division, we get countless calls for season in India and China and Japan.
Right.
Meaning they ask us if we can send them models for fashion season, runway season, whatever it is, in those respected regions of the world.
Right.
And they would pay for the flight, they pay for the hotel, they give you petty cash, you can feed yourself, and you get paid for your actual work. And once the season is over, depending on how long you've signed the contract for, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, whatever it is, you come right on back home to Miami or New York or wherever you live.
Wherever you are. Exactly. Exactly.
And you've experienced something out of America. And you've made some money. And you've now becoming more of a well-rounded model or artist. And also, when you go to these other places, you run a high risk of networking with even more people. So once you've networked with all of Sephora, you go to Europe, you continue that networking, and then expand, and then start being able to be one of those models or creatives that when you open your cell phone, you have all types of country codes popping up, not just +1 for America, because when you work in this industry, like I said, I'm gonna say it again, you have to be able to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be able to step out of your cities, your states, your countries.
Exactly.
That's the only way you're gonna progress. The only way. If the most people interact with you, then you have the opportunity for the most possible returns. So
right.
If you stay in one area, one city, one state, one country, these are all people who obviously don't want to see anybody else but themselves progress. Go over to the other side of the pond where no one knows you, right, and they don't know anything about you. You're just a new person to them, so you're no threats, and just network, and just do as much of the footwork as you can.
Yes.
Because if you go there and you network and you bring a whole bunch of contacts, you met this one and that creative director and this one, that, and this, and people are going to ask me, Sophia, I go to Italy, I go to Paris, I am American. How do I network? I speak English. All of these major fashion countries, yes, Mumbai, India is one of them, all speak English.
Yeah, I know that. Well, my girls in India, they speak English. You're right about that. English. When I was in Greece, they spoke English.
Every fashion city speaks English. That's number one. Number two, where do you network? When you're in whatever city you are, no matter where you are, Shanghai, China, who cares? Find out where the 5-star hotels are. Go into the bar and the lobby bar and just mingle.
What you just said is 100% correct. Every year in New York City, at the New York Hilton in November, is the doctors' conference. I had a friend of mine that said, and in fact, one of the models, she said, I'm really looking for a great man. This is funny. She said, as somebody with money, I said, oh, you know what? Go over to that I go to the New York Hilton in the month of November when they have the doctors' convention. Go in there and network. You'd be surprised the jobs you're going to pick up. You're looking for a husband? That's the place to go. You just said a mouthful. Go to the 5-star hotels, go into the bars, go into the restaurants, and network in there. Because
you're the only one in town, girl. If you in town, it's Fashion Week.
That's right.
That means all the 5-star hotels, where everybody's staying.
Yeah, 5-star. And not only that, when I was in Greece, okay, and they asked me to perform for the Mrs. Globe pageant, and I got out and performed. Do you know I became a superstar faster there than here? Because every media was after, who's this girl? Who's that? Who's this? I had more interviews in Greece than I actually did here. So you're right. When you start networking, and I was in a 5-star hotel, I was at the Athenia Palace, where everybody goes, all the conventions are. So what better place to be than in a 5-star hotel in Greece, the Athenia Palace on the island of Crete, okay? It was amazing. All right. In fact,
yeah, it's crazy that people don't.
And in fact, getting that that interview on Greek television, on my off time, I took the boat over to Turkey and went over to Istanbul. Do you know people in Istanbul recognized me? And they started coming and said, "We saw you on TV." And you're right, even in Turkey, they speak English. And when you talk about the media, one day I was interviewed by NBC in Pembroke Pines. They're, like you say, they all have affiliate stations, local stations. I was getting my nails done, and a woman came up to me and said, "I saw you on TV this morning. I love that dress you had on." Nice. Just by getting my nails done. So you are right. You've got to network. Every major station has affiliates, okay? And anytime I want to get on television, my local television station where I am in Palm Beach County, you know what I do? I'm always bringing presents and cookies and stuff up to all the reporters. So anytime they want to know anything, they come to me. And I talk to these people on social media almost every other day. But like you say, it's a way to connect. Yeah. So that's what I love about you. You and I are on the same wavelength. Yes. And you just told me things about a sister agency that's what brought that back about Greece. Because if I did not take that opportunity, people in Europe wouldn't have even known who I was. Because here, like you say, we're kind of running, it's dog eat dog, but in Europe, it's a little laid back. But if you have something that you can really offer, or they think you're really great at something, you don't even have to pick up the phone. That media is coming right at you. Yeah. And it is absolutely amazing.
It's true.
So, Sophia, you see the sign I have behind me. It says 100 successful women in business. You are definitely one of those women. And I hope you are going to be with us and work with us for London, because your expertise is definitely well needed, and definitely want to have you work with us on the pageant this year. There's a lot of things that I will go over with you from A to Z. But for our listeners, what are your future plans? What do you have going for you? Because I know there's a lot. So what are your future plans?
Oh, wow. We will be rolling out some series for some streaming networks. So I'm going to be jumping into television for a little bit.
Excellent.
Whew. Those are some long days, Angela.
Those long days. Long days.
Photo shoots, those are 6 to 8 hour days. TV, that's like 18 to 20 hour days. But I'm looking forward to it very much so. I'm looking to bring stories to the screen about women in business, about women who are striving to make a brand for themselves, or offer something to the world that has either never been offered by a woman, or is revolutionary for what they're bringing to the table.
Exactly.
And just shine the light on them. Because I always feel like when it comes to women, female creators, business owners, inventors, practitioners, unless they have an amazing amount of word of mouth, it's almost like we get, I would say, muffled when it comes to our accomplishments. We're not allowed to bark too loud and to boast too greatly.
Yeah.
But men can do it all the time. They can talk about
exactly
Wall Street and all the Rolexes they have in their drawer and the Rolls Royces in the driveway and blah. But we do that. It's like,
what are you doing?
Exactly. Why?
Exactly.
So, I want to start putting together different visuals. I'm doing this in the magazine with our editorials and our features. I'm doing this with our interviews with Candid and Diverse, and now I want to do this with regular series on streaming platforms that are just catered to giving women that pat on the back and that recognition and that acknowledgement for abilities that we so deserve. And I mean, not taking anything away from men, but I just feel like we have downplayed our amazingness too long.
Yeah, right. We found, and that's why we have this show. But anybody that you feel has got a lot of great potential and you really want to put them out there, you let me know. They could come on my show anytime. That's on me anytime. And anytime you want to get the word out, excuse me, make our world your runway, you can always come back. So I want to thank you again for being on our show. Okay, our time is almost up, so it's been a pleasure. And Sophia, you and I are going to do great things together. So thank you for being on the show, and give Philip my best. And I hope you're feeling better. You're a real trooper to come on today.
Oh, thank you. I told you I'll show up for you. Don't worry. When it comes to the people that I know are on the same page, when it comes to giving back and doing good things, I'll drag myself out and make sure that I pull it together for you.
Greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much, and we will definitely be in touch, and I'll see you again.
See you soon. Have a great one. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another fabulous guest, Sophia Lenore from Prestige Magazine. And once again, join us every Thursday for another exciting guest so you can hear some successful stories of all these women and all the people associated with Make Our World Your Runway. See you soon.